Hello, San Angelo. Today, San Angelo Police Chief Travis Griffith spoke with the media and the San Angelo community concerning the assault of an elderly woman and the arrest of a man who allegedly threw out homemade caltrops. I'm James Bellini.
And I'm Tessa Koskovich.
Before the news, we have Geneva Rodriguez, who is running for school board at SAISD, in studio right after these messages from Jim Bass and Carpet Tech.
It's time. It's Truck Month at Jim Bass Ford. So it's time for you to save thousands. Like $6,000 off a new 24 Ford Bronco.
Are you serious?
I'm real serious. Get $6,000 off a new Ford Bronco. But this won't last forever. Hurry down to Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart and Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbutts.com.
My name is Cade Simmons. I'm the site manager here in San Angelo. What matters to our customers, I believe, is what we say is CT quality, CT experience, just making sure their needs are met, taking care of their home like it was ours. You just have to keep thinking of, it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So just making sure you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of, and just knowing that they can rely on us, I think, matters to them a lot.
Welcome back, everybody. James Bellini here with Geneva Rodriguez. She is running for school board for SAISD. Ms. Rodriguez, how are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
All right, so why do you feel like people should vote for you to be on school board?
I think, well, first and foremost, I am here to serve the people. So I want to serve the students of not only my district, but the entire school district. I feel like I've had experience serving already. I'm trying to be as helpful as I can be. I understand there's people who don't feel like their voice is being heard. So definitely want to hear those and then convey that to, turn around and actually put it into action.
You said your husband's been an educator for quite a while now.
Yes.
Y'all put on the North Side Back to School Bash.
Yes.
Already.
Yes.
What do you feel like needs to change on the school board?
First thing, as we discussed earlier, transparency is key. I think we have got to get some transparency so there can be trust. And before there's trust, you have to build that trust, and there needs to be that clear communication and no type of deception in any way. The school board works for the people, and so the people should know what is going on.
All right. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's a huge bond coming up for
Yes.
SAISD. It's been a while since San Angelo has passed a bond for
Yes,
SAISD.
sir. Yes.
Why do you feel like that bond needs to pass?
It's very important. I think, it's way overdue. We have a lot of things that need to be taken care of. So I understand, again, there is that perception that we're worried about if we give the school board more money, what's it going to be used for? And are you going to stay true to your word? So if I'm on the school board, I can obviously make sure that that is done and make sure that there's transparency in how those funds are used. But we have to do something for our students. They deserve better. And as we make those changes, security-wise, all of those things, it's really important.
All right. You said you have a son.
Mm-hmm.
He's enrolled in school here in San Angelo. Is that
Yes.
Is that one of the big reasons why you want to be so involved?
It is actually. I've always wanted to be a present parent. Growing up, I unfortunately didn't have the typical household. And so it was really important to me to be involved in both my children. I have a first grader and a seventh grader. Right. So I try to be as involved as possible, and not just attending events, but if I can volunteer, if I can serve, I want to be as involved as possible.
You said, I said your husband's an educator, and does he teach at SAISD or is he?
He does, yes. So he is currently he's at Lincoln Middle School.
Okay.
But he's has worked at Central High School, Glenn Middle School, Bowie Elementary, Carver Learning Center. So he's been in the district for a while.
He's just bounced around the district.
Yes.
But you and like you said, like we discussed already, y'all put on the North Side Back to School Bash.
Yes.
What goes into that?
A lot of things. So first it was our idea just to be able to serve the population that we felt was underserved. And so we give away backpacks, school supplies, we feed them, give them entertainment, and then we pull resources from the community to have booths so that way they would have information about all the different things that are offered within the community. And it's open to everybody, not just the North Side. Right. And this year we're doing something different. We want to give away a free pair of shoes to the first 1,000 students.
All right.
So. Yes, sir.
Do you usually have that many students come in?
We typically have between, student-wise, 1,500 to 2,000.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Rodriguez, is there anything that I missed that you want to make sure you get out to the people here?
I think just thank you all for the support already that I've received, and please go out and vote. That is how we can have our voice to be heard, and so that is so important. So please make sure that you go vote.
All right, well, Ms. Rodriguez, we appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Back to you.
Starting things off, both of us were at the press conference this morning at the San Angelo Police Station, where Chief Travis Griffith updated the community concerning 2 crimes. Here is what Chief Griffith had to say at the press conference.
I just want to say thank you all for being here. I want to provide an update in regards to a situation that occurred yesterday in the 4300 block of Rodeo Drive. It was about 5:30 yesterday afternoon. The San Angelo Police Department responded to an incident where we are now investigating an aggravated assault or injury to an elderly individual. Officers arrived to find an 81-year-old victim that had very severe injuries. She was stabilized and has been flown to an out-of-town hospital for treatment. It's critical but stable at this point. We're working through that as we go. As we explain the rest of this, I want to make it very clear that this is all the information is subject to change. This is early in our investigation, and that this is what we know at the moment, but that is all very fluid. We do have a suspect that we're looking into, and we have a vehicle that we're looking for. Okay, so I ask that you be praying for the families, 81-year-old San Angelo resident, one of our own. Be praying for her and her family. We are looking for a suspect, and you will get a picture of this suspect with your packet, and we're also going to be releasing it on Facebook. His name is Christopher Knowlton. He's 27 years old. He is 5'10". He has brown eyes, brown hair. He is 170 pounds, and he was last seen yesterday in the area prior to the incident. I would ask that we also be looking for a 2018 Jeep Renegade. It has Texas license plate MNH2244. That's Mary Nora Henry 2244. White in color. And that is currently listed as stolen, and we're looking for that vehicle. We need the community's help on this. We have it out to all of our law enforcement, and everybody's looking in our area. But if you see this vehicle, or you see this suspect, or you have any information, we're asking for your help. Again, be praying for the 81-year-old victim in this case and her family. We'll be releasing a Facebook post with the information as well, and we ask that you share that. And together, I think we can get this suspect in custody and find out more of what's going on. The best way to get a hold of us is using our main phone number. It's going to be 657-4315. If you want to remain anonymous in the course of this, which we get because of certain circumstances in your life, you can remain anonymous by using Crime Stoppers at 658-HELP. That's 4357, 658-HELP. Key in the word HELP, and that's 4357. You can also do it on their app or online if you want to do that. I do say that we have some of the very best investigators who are on the case. I think we're coming to a resolution on this. But any information you may have about this, we ask that you contact us. This is a stock photo that will be added as well on the vehicle. So it's a Jeep Renegade 2018, white in color. Any additional information that we learn that might be pertinent to this will be releasing. But right now, again, it's fluid, changing, and anything could pivot off of that at any moment. So I'm going to separate this into two, and I'm going to have questions on that real quick. You may have questions on this case.
Was the suspect from San Angelo, do you know?
Suspect has area ties.
Okay.
Do you know the extent of the victim's injuries?
They want the extent of the, I'm getting better at repeating questions so everybody else can hear. So the extent of the injuries are significant.
Do we know where she was airlifted to?
We're going to keep that close, that way we don't have anybody else involved trying to track that down. We're still looking for a suspect in it.
And the vehicle that was stolen, is that something to do with the case as well, or is it a separate incident?
You know, we investigate that as individually, but they could be directly tied together. And then, so as we move forward, we're going to keep looking for the vehicle as also tied to this crime. Okay, we want to transition into another press update. So starting back in the early part of March, we received a Crime Stoppers tip about a neighbor in the area of Mimosa that was damaging tires. So it's basically, it'd been going on for some time, and some people were worried about that. They used Crime Stoppers to remain anonymous. And I want to highlight this because it's, number one, an unusual crime, and number two, it is a great highlight of how good our community is. So we started working with our neighborhood officers. We started doing surveillance in the area, trying to find, because with an anonymous tip, I want to make it clear to the public, is we can't do anything more than just try to look into something. We have no arrest authorities, no detention abilities, and so we start looking into it with what resources we have. Where I think this highlights how great our community is, especially this neighborhood in that area of Mimosa. We found that the neighbors started talking and communicating with each other. It's a great, again, it highlights San Angelo, and they started working together and were able to piece how many victims were actually in the neighborhood. That got everybody together, and in the course of this last week, on Thursday, I believe it was, we received a great deal of actual identified reports, which is our first identified reports that were tied to this. And with the use of retired law enforcement that live in the neighborhood, and with the neighbors that were just outstanding, that worked together and brave in dealing with this situation, and a game warden drone, we were able to obtain an arrest warrant for our suspect. And I think that it's key to understand that the type of tire damage that was going on was not just somebody like poking a tire, right? It was utilizing what's called a caltrop. Sometimes in law enforcement, we have what's called a spike strip, right? That's more than one caltrop. It's a tire deflation device. And so they were being laid out into the street. And during the course of that, we found that they were same and similar, and we started trying to figure out the connection to it. And so we're asking that if anybody was involved in, and maybe you were in the area of Lakeview Heroes Drive, Mimosa, that wraps right around just to the north of that, anywhere around Lincoln Middle School, and you had some sort of device that you found on your tire in the course of the last probably 4 months, to go ahead and report that to the San Angelo Police Department. I would ask that you do that with the utilization of our online. It's the easiest way to get there. It's fastest, easier for you. That way you can provide any pictures you might have, and we don't have to wait for the police officers to arrive for you on that. You can do that at sanangelopolice.org. Go down to the middle of the page, you'll find how to file an online police report. If you can't do that and you have issues, we understand people do have problems with that. You can contact, again, our number as previously listed as area code 325-657-4315. And you can report that, and an officer will come out eventually. We want you to understand that this took a lot of time and energy and a lot of great neighbors working together. And John, I'm going to ask that you give me that press release real quick. And on that, what we're going to highlight is the ability to say that we have some great detectives, and in the course of that investigation, not only did they have the information to lead to the arrest, but they also executed a search warrant at the suspect's house and were able to obtain additional information that tied to this crime. At this time, we have arrested Donald Hall. He's 72 years old, male, for the crime of criminal mischief and the utilization of prohibited weapons. He was arrested yesterday in the Montgomery County Jail. So this is wonderful community. This is a wonderful group of citizens coming together. This is utilization of extra law enforcement, meaning the Parks and Wildlife. I want to say thank you to them. for utilization of the drone, and also to our neighborhood officers and our great investigators that have led to the arrest of this suspect. And hopefully it can be the end of people and not have to have stress about having your tires damaged, because everybody knows not only is it a stressor of being late to work, late to your kids getting to school, but it's expensive, right? So hopefully this will be the end of that, and we will let the rules of justice roll. All information is subject to change. So information is still early, but that's where we landed at today. And I'll answer questions on that now. I do want to highlight that we have some pictures of some caltrops. This one in particular is probably the best one. Basically, you take a nail and put it through a bottle cap, and it provides a way to deflate a tire. There's lots of other ways to do that, but that's the main way that they do that. It is something that for months people in this neighborhood have struggled with, so we're glad to see that come to conclusion. And any other questions on that? Yes, sir.
Do we have a number of how many vehicles had their tires punctured?
So the question is, do we have a number of how many victims we have at this point? No, we don't, because we're still actively. It's another reason why we wanted to highlight today is if you thought maybe some kid was just playing around and saw this type of device, which will also be on the release, I believe, that we can have that to say, hey, I remember pulling out my tire and I did drive through that neighborhood. So we're trying to collect all this together, and then we can kind of culminate our numbers. A good question. All right. I want to say thank you all guys for coming out. I appreciate y'all. If there's any additional information that needs to be released for the betterment of the cases, we will be doing so, and hope y'all have a good afternoon.
If you know 27-year-old Christian Knowlton and or a 2018 white Jeep Renegade with the license plate number MNH2244, contact law enforcement immediately. We are also told that it is unknown if there were any stickers or identifiable markings on that vehicle.
And 72-year-old Donald Hall was arrested yesterday and released today from the Tom Green County Jail on a $30,000 bond.
When we come back, we'll have weather right after this message from Jay Chandler.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
Into weather, the high temperatures tick up just a bit, but right now it's 77 degrees outside with a high of 80 and a low tonight at 53.
Wednesday and Thursday, the high will be the same at 90 degrees, but the lows will be 54 and 52, respectively.
Then Friday it cools down just a bit with a high of 84, and the low that night will be 54. Thankfully, and knock on wood, the winds stay down, which they are expected to over the next few days.
Which makes it sound like perfect carnival weather. For
Absolutely.
those of you who want to get out with the kids and do something fun.
It was cold this past weekend, so get out there this week.
It was miserable this past weekend.
It was. That wind was terrible.
It was. And we will be right back after a quick word from Kano's Diamonds and Coins.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thank you for watching the Live Daily News Show.
The only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley.
Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms.
And download the San Angelo Live mobile app.
For the live team here, I'm James Bellini.
And I'm Tessa Koskovich.
And we'll see you tomorrow.